In this video, we'll be talking about the first stage in the on-page SEO task, the SEO optimization of the content, the article content. So we might break this step down into 4 steps. Step 1, you build a large keyword list. Then you select keywords for an article topic, you write your article, and then you sprinkle your keywords into the article content. So let's go over each one a bit more. Step 1 just entails getting your hands on lots and lots and lots of keywords. For years, SEOs have been using Google's free keyword tool to start off the SEO process. Typically, you just surf over to the Google Keyword Planner, type in a few seed keywords, and download several CSV files, which hopefully contain keywords that are reflective of your product or service. If you're watching this video, then you're probably already familiar with this step. And there are thousands upon thousands of techniques, articles, websites, and software tools all devoted to this initial SEO chore, to the building of your keyword list. As you probably know, I sell a keyword tool as well, so we'll be going over the more technical aspects of keyword list building later in the class, but that's step 1. Now, step 2, select keywords for an article topic. Once we've gathered a bunch of keywords into a long list, we need to select the keywords we're going to use on our website. We need to weed through our keyword list and select a logical cluster of keywords to use in the text of our article content. Often people will just open up their keyword list in a program like Microsoft Excel. In this slide here, we're showing somebody marking keywords for a low-carb diet website. Our previous example was about a how to build a doghouse web page, so just in glancing at the keyword planner, right away we can see a few keywords we might choose. How to build a doghouse, that's our primary keyword phrase for our web page. DIY doghouse, DIY stands for do it yourself. How to make a doghouse, simple doghouse plans, outdoor doghouse plans. So we can probably infer that the people typing in these keyword phrases are probably interested in our content. Our website has a set of pictures and diagrams about how to build a doghouse, and it looks like that's what these people want to do. So, but how do we really know which keywords to choose? There really isn't one perfect method. There isn't one perfect way to decide which keywords you're going to target. Your selection criteria entirely depends on your website scope and business model. But that said, let's list a few keyword selection principles that you might employ during the keyword selection task. So, principle number 1, select the keywords that reflect the product or service that you are actually in a position to offer. So you would think this principle would go without saying, but it is very typical in many of these make money online, internet marketing methods to select your keywords based on some other criteria like low keyword competition or product availability on Amazon.com. For example, many of these affiliate marketing or AdSense methods tend to prescribe the creation of your web content based on the saleability of the product or niche that you're attempting to lure traffic for. So in such make money with SEO methods, say you do some keyword research and you find that a lot of people are searching for how to cure nail fungus. And you notice that there are several ebooks and products that address the how to cure nail fungus problem. So even though you're not a doctor and you don't know anything about nail fungus, you build a website around these nail fungus keywords because you want to lure search engine traffic and make affiliate income. Now, this has worked quite well for many people, particularly before the big algorithm updates and when the chore of backlink building was still novel. It was quite possible to rank these light, hastily constructed nail fungus websites in Google and make some quick cash. But Google is smarter these days, and again, I'd advise you to create your websites about topics that you are intimately familiar with and only go after keywords about products that you actually sell or that you think you could offer an authoritative resource for. Principle number 2, select the keywords that have high search volume. So the most important number in keyword research is the search volume value. The search volume is just a number that tells us how often the keyword is searched for. In the Google Keyword Planner, the column here in the middle entitled Average Monthly Searches contains this data. So one obvious principle in keyword selection is that generally speaking, we should choose the keywords that have a higher monthly search volume over the keywords that have a lower monthly search volume. Generally, we want this number to be as high as possible, but don't be fooled into picking keywords merely based on search volume. Search volume is just one variable. You can't go after high search volume keywords at the expense of abandoning principle number 1. No matter how good the search volume looks, you need to choose the keywords that reflect your product or service. Principle number 3, select the long tail keywords. So let's take a moment to talk about long tail keywords. What are long tail keywords? So recall that our example website was about dog houses. Now, if our website owner was just starting his business, he is probably not going to rank in Google for the term dog house. That's a fairly competitive keyword phrase, and our website owner will have to put in a lot of effort into ranking his website for this keyword. But as an alternate strategy, this person could target the more obscure keyword phrases in the dog house niche, like the keyword phrase dog house for German Shepherd. Such keywords are called long tail keywords because they appear at the tail end of a normal search volume distribution. So the big epiphany here, the reason why long tail keywords are discussed so much is because, in theory, when taken in aggregate, the right side of the curve, this blue side here, is equal to the left side of the curve, this red side here, which is fairly surprising when you consider that the word doghouse was searched for over 60,000 times last month, and the keyword doghouse for German Shepherd was only typed in 110 times last month. So, just intuitively, we could look at this information and see why it would be valuable to us if we had a doghouse website, because it tells us that there is a whole universe of low competition keywords living in this blue area here. And if we were to produce content about these keywords on our website, then that could potentially allow us to lure a lot of traffic when considered in total. Okay, so that's the basic gist of the long tail. In theory, it's an interesting idea, but in practice, there are a couple of things to take note of here. First off, as we move up and down the tail, the commercial intent of the searcher sometimes comes into question. In many niches, this red high competition area of the graph is probably demonstrably of a much higher value than the blue area. This is probably also a niche dependent factor. Also, recall in the previous section, we mentioned the quote from Google engineer John Wiley when he said that 15% of all search queries have never even been seen by Google before. So this shows you just how versatile human language is. When you're harvesting these long tail keywords, keep this in mind. A lot of your customers will ultimately find you via keyword phrases that cannot be accounted for simply because they have literally never existed before. Principle number 4, select keywords that match your customer's lexicon. Okay, recall our example webpage was about the topic how to build a doghouse. Now, if you look up the word doghouse, you notice something interesting. Notice that Webster's Dictionary actually says to spell doghouse as one word, doghouse without the space. But when we type these words into the Google Keyword Planner, you'll notice something very important. Notice that the word doghouse with the space is searched for almost 3 times more than the word doghouse without a space. 60,500 versus 22,200 times per month. The point being, the way that the populace spells your product name is not always the way that the dictionary spells your product name. If you own a doghouse website and your goal is to sell as many doghouses as possible, then which keyword are you going to use to refer to your product? The top one here or the bottom one here? I think it's clear that you'd want to use the top one. The top one is searched for about 3 times more than the bottom one. So you'd want to ignore how the dictionary says to spell doghouse, and instead, when you're labeling your product pages, refer to your products as doghouse with the space, because that's how your customers are typing it into Google. Now, the guys at Google are pretty smart. For simple word conjunctions like this, other factors will be taken into consideration. But that said, note how our 2 keywords do indeed yield a very different Google search results page. The ordering of the links are different, the product display is different, the regional search results are different. So even this seemingly trivial difference, a space in just one keyword phrase, may ultimately induce highly variant amounts of traffic. Okay, on to step number 3, write your article. Now that you've built your keyword list and you've selected some keywords that correspond with your product or service, then it's time to actually write your article to create your content. Now, the mistake that some people make at this stage is they let the keywords define their content and they produce robotic keywordy posts. So don't do that. Instead, when you're writing your document, just put the keywords off to the side, at least for the first draft of your article. Let the keywords just be the inspiration, the locus of your content. Keywords can be very distracting when you're writing. So You don't want to get your mind into a state in which you're merely generating mechanical content that no one is going to enjoy reading. Now finally, step 4, sprinkle keywords into your article content. Now you've built your keyword list, selected your keywords, and wrote the first draft of your article. Now this is the part where the quote SEO optimization comes in. We need to SEO optimize your content. We sprinkle our keywords into the article text. In this metaphor here, you can think of the pepper as the keyword phrases. They're being organically sprinkled upon the sentences of your article. You're just massaging your keywords into your content. Now, there is no perfect way to do this. Your goal is just to make sure that your sentences contain the keyword phrase or derivations of the keyword phrase, but without making your article sound weird. You want to avoid keyword stuffing. Keyword stuffing happens when an SEO guy loads his paragraphs with repetitive keyword phrases such that his article is just using the same keywords again and again. You want to avoid this for obvious reasons. First, because keyword stuffing makes your article difficult to read for your users, and second, because Google is not that naive anymore. They're not going to give you extra SEO points just because you've crammed a bunch of keywords into a paragraph. Now, another facet of SEO optimization that is often stressed is the positioning of your most important keywords. Keywords that appear at the top of an article, in the article title, and in the first couple paragraphs probably have more SEO value than keywords that appear elsewhere in the article. So you might want to angle your SEO optimization efforts toward the top portion of your article content.